Yo, what's up, my friend? So welcome back to today's market analysis. Right, today is pretty straightforward. Right, I'm going to cover a couple of trading setups. Right, namely the Euro Aussie and the 30-year Treasury bond, and then I'm going to share with you a loss that I had while I was trading last week. Right, so all this and more in today's video. I'll see you there. The first thing we want to talk about is the Euro Aussie. Right, the Euro Aussie, if you recall a few weeks back, right, I mentioned that I was actually looking to short this breakout towards the downside. Okay, you may be wondering, Rainer, why are you looking to short in front of an area of support, right? Are you okay? So let me explain my rationale behind it, right? The reason why I'm looking to go short is, again, number one, what is the trend? Ask yourself, right? I always ask myself this question, what is the trend? Well, it's towards the downside, right? You can see series of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. That's one. Number two, right? Where is price right now, right? Price is at an area of support. So, yep, right? I believe most of us know that support is an area where there is potential buying pressure to push price higher, right? So, what happens is that the market came into support, and usually what happens is that it would tend to reverse from support pretty quickly, right? If there is, real buying pressure. But what happened is that this market got into a range at support. So this is something that, is not too normal, because, if the market is consolidating its support, it's telling you that, the buying pressure isn't really there. Because if it's really there, right, it wouldn't stay at this level or area for too long. So this is a red flag sign for me. So the longer it range, right, the more I know traders are going to put their stops just below this low of support. Right, I think maybe even a few of you went long and put your stops below this low of support. Okay, so when I know that the trend is with me, and I know that there is a cluster of stops below this level, right, I decided to, go short on this breakdown in anticipation of further selling pressure. Because if you think about this, right, if the market triggers below this low, right, traders who cut their stop loss would have put in more selling pressure into the market. That's one. Second thing, right, traders who are looking to short the breakdown like me would fuel further selling pressure as well. So this, would result, and so-called, I wouldn't really want to use the word avalanche, but rather it will fuel selling pressure towards the downside, which is what we got. So this doesn't really happen all the time, 100%, but more often than not, right, it usually would break down. So this is a trade that I'm in, Euro Aussie, right, and I mentioned this, I think, a few weeks back in one of the weekly market analysis. So if you're not in this trade, right, don't worry, right, here's what I'm saying still, right, the market right now seems to be respecting this red line over here, which is the 20 period moving average. So over here, you can see that we have a confluence of the 20 period moving average and this swing high, right? So if you are trading off the daily time frame, right, there could be a possibility of the market coming in higher and then close lower, right? And what happens is that you miss a huge chunk of the move. So if you're thinking, how can I, enter this trade, right, earlier so you don't, miss this chunk of the move. So what I suggest is that you need to go down to a lower time frame, like the 4 hour, right? So let's just draw out this line first to highlight this zone we are looking at. Okay, so if you go down to the 4 hour time frame, you notice that price would seem to slow down, right? You can wait for price, come to your level, right? And it's like, entering the matrix where you see a different world altogether. So on the 4 hour time frame, every 4 hour a bar is going to be printed out. So you have more time to time your entry. As you can see that, this is the level we are looking at to go short. So if the market comes into this particular level, all right, this could be an opportunity to go short in expectation of lower prices, right? As you've seen earlier, right, on the higher time frame, it is having a confluence of the 20 period moving average and this swing high over here. So I'm looking for an entry trigger to go short on the Euro Aussie, right? Entry trigger could be simply like, like a pin bar, right? Or maybe an engulfing pattern like this, right? Or maybe just a lower close. So there are really a few types of entry trigger that you can use, but the main thing is not the entry trigger itself, but rather the context of the market, right? What made me, or rather what is the thing that caused me to look for a sell pattern over at this level, right? It is actually on the daily time frame, right? Looking at the market structure on the daily time frame, looking at what is the trend doing overall, looking at confluence factor like the 20 MA, the swing high, then only then, right, I look for an entry trigger to go short, right? So this is important, right? Don't neglect that part. And moving on, right, just want to share with you a soybean trade that I took, right? So basically, again, soybean, for me, I'm looking to long because price is above this 200 MA. So this is what I did, right? I went long on this close over here. Stop loss of 1 ATR below this low, which is somewhere here. So you can see the market went in my favor and then it collapsed lower and closed against me, right? So I took the loss on here because it has hit my trailing stop loss, right? This is a loss of 0.55R for me, okay, on soybean. And what happens next is that if you notice, right, this market is still at an area of support, right? And this is the 200 MA coming in. So if on Monday or Tuesday, the market can actually close higher, right, I'll be inclined to go long one more time, right? So this is something that I'm still watching on soybean. Okay, and lastly, right, just want to share with you is the 30-year Treasury bond, a very straightforward setup. Trend towards the downside. Area of value is this resistance, and you notice price coming in, right? So same thing, right? If I get an entry trigger at this area, right, to go short, I will go short on the 30-year Treasury bond. So this is coming close, right? So it's something that you may want to pay attention to over the next few days. All right. So yeah, that's all I have in today's weekly market analysis, right? So let's recap what we spoke about. Number one, Euro Aussie, right? I mentioned, right, how you can actually use multiple time frames to go short, right? Using this time around, we are talking about the 4-hour time frame. Okay. Second thing, I mentioned about soybean, right? I got stopped out for a loss and I'm still looking to get long if the opportunity presents itself. The third thing is the 30-year Treasury bond, a very straightforward setup to look for sell opportunity in this area of resistance. So with that, right, today is pretty much a short and sharp video, but nonetheless, right, I hope you've enjoyed it, right? So if there's anything, question or feedback, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. With that, I wish you good luck and good trading. Talk to you soon.